Here's a Roman letter R without me adding any weight. Okay. I actually use a little bit of pressure variation. See that? So I lift the pen, or the pencil in this instance, a little bit. In the middle of the stroke. I start doing that even though I'm writing it with a pencil. It's a really good idea to go through these freehand with a pencil in the groups. But I'm starting off just with one letter, R. Slightly below the mathematical midpoint for that curve on the R. I'm going to go out here and press at the end a little bit. So I'm aiming this slightly on the side of this corner. A little bit on the side of that corner. So that's my R. I mean, sometimes there's this stroke, but also the horizontal. But I'm going to keep mine open for now. Broad edge pen held at 15 to 20 degrees, no serifs. I always turn the pen a little in the broad edge pen curve of the R, the O, the D, the B. In order to do so, if you're using pen manipulation, you can't hold the pen too flat like that. You have to keep it quite steep onto the paper. Now the pen angle is quite flat, 15 to 20 degrees, but the angle of the actual whole pen to the paper is quite steep, so that I can turn the pen when I go in. I turn it, come around to make this a more generous and a nicer, basically, curve. Now, put the pen down where this has started to go thin. And you either steepen the pen angle, because the diagonal will look too heavy if I don't do anything with the pen angle. But I don't want to end up with this being at that angle. So I'm doing the other thing. I'm flattening the pen angle. It's flatter than 15. I'm down to about 5 maybe. Flatten the pen angle, put it down. Oops, needs more ink. Here we are. Press at the end. Generously putting its leg outwards, press at the end to create a swell. Now, if you want, you could choose whether you want this at 90 degrees or what. And then if it leaves a gap here, you can fill that in with the corner. And there's your R. Maybe a little bit thin on that. So, broad edge pen R without serifs, simplified. I'm going to up the stakes a bit. How about me making this into a semi-formal Roman one with just one serif at the top and none at the bottom? But there's a little bit of a pen turn. Down. Yes. That's the first stroke. There's a slight turning of the pen in the entry serif. I just want it to be a little bit nice. And I'm putting a little bit more pressure at top and bottom of that stroke. So, and then this stroke, over, steepen, and flattening again for this curve. Again, there's a rotation of the pen angle, which is hard for beginners. Right, and flatten pen angle down. Now I'm gonna, because I have a serif on top, obviously you want a serif at the end of the R stroke as well. So it's going to end in a serif. So I know that. Flatten the pen angle down, press, and out goes the serif with a swell to it. If there's a gap, fill that in with the corner. Sometimes there's a tiny little bit of that inside of that dot. So now you've got a skeleton shape, you've got a broadish pen shape, you have a semi-formal Roman shape. I'm going to make a rustica. A rustica has, look, so here's my pen angle is about 15 to maybe 20 degrees, right? But manipulated in the curve. If I make a rustica, the pen angle is really steep. Look at this. Built up serif. Really steep pen angle, and then fill that in. And sometimes this stroke is taken from here in the rustica, so I'm just going to do that. Very steep pen angle. I'm going to make a monumentalis also. So we cover all the files in a sense. Monumentalis would be with built-up serifs. Press, release, press on the pen. Now, flatten the pen angle completely for the serif. And I'm building that up. So there's a flat stroke first, and then just with a completely flat pen angle, just building that serif up, rounding this off on that side. And the same at the bottom, make a thin serif with the whole pen with a slight curve. See, there's a slight curve. It's quite large, the serif. Now, make the transition between the stem and the serif with the corner of the pen. Then you can build that up, or you just fill that in with the corner. Okay, and fill this in round. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I thought I was making an I, but obviously I'm making an R. So here's the Roman R inscriptional form. Going around, turning the pen, flatten the pen angle. You can come in. You can come out with this stroke. Now closing it up. This stroke out. And putting the pen down. Flat pen angle. Just at the thin point where this meets that. Giving it a little bit of space. Flatten the pen angle. Press at the end. And press. Fill that in if needs be. And there we go. More like an inscriptional art.